This is Deborah Johnson for Women at Halftime, and I'm passionate about helping women use their untapped skills, resources, and talents to create their ideal work and lifestyle, making a difference in their second half. Well, it's great to be here today with Melissa Murphy, and I'm so excited about what we're going to talk about today because she started this business, succulent business, in her backyard. And it's an interesting story, and I'm excited for her to tell you all about it and how much she has grown, huge growth. So before we get started, I want to remind everyone that I do have some challenges on my Facebook page, Deborah.Johnson. And we had one for Learn Music Again. Learn Music Again cart is still open, learnmusicagain.com. But also there are some now starting on Hero Mountain Summit as well. And you can see the links on that page, heromountainsummit.com. So make sure you get in on those 5-day challenges. They're easy, they're free, they're easy to get into, and you always get free downloads. And so those are a lot of fun. So okay, so let's get to our interview here with Melissa. Melissa, tell everyone hello.
Hello, everyone.
Get this beautiful long blonde hair. You started your business in your backyard. And so tell us a little bit about that and what made you think of succulents, and were they popular at the time?
Yeah, so we launched back in October of 2017, literally in my backyard, before we upgraded to my garage. And, the reason we started this, it actually kind of came about as more of a business opportunity. I'd always really been into plants, but I hadn't been, too much of a plant hoarder at the time. But a business partner of ours had owns a succulent and cacti farm, had kind of brought up the idea, and my partner in this, and my husband Andy, he's been a tech entrepreneur his entire life, and he had said, no, succulents aren't going to work. No one's going to want succulents every month, maybe one off. And I kept saying, yep, this is going to work. I don't think And so I pushed him. Took me about 3 months to kind of push him to get him to the point of believing that this is something that could work. And so he built me a little website. And then we decided to run some ads, and it turned out that succulents were much more popular than we realized they were, not just for a single purchase, but from a reoccurring subscription standpoint. And that's kind of where this came about, and we pick 2 little succulents each month so that people don't get bored with them. They don't try not to repeat for at least, a year and a half to 2 years, sometimes even longer. But yes, the succulents at the time, I think were just becoming more of a staple in households. People were realizing that they are very low maintenance, and that they are sustainable. Back when, electric cars and smart cars were really becoming popular. It's the same thing with succulents. Not having a plant that needed a lot of water or a lot of care was really popular at the time. So,
it's a highly searched term if you look.
Yes.
And I was actually kind of surprised. And, I'm one of those people that can kill almost any plant, even a cactus. But they're so pretty. There are so many varieties. I can't imagine the amount of, the variety that you have to be able to rotate just a year and a half to 2 years.
Right.
And so, putting that into place and your system into place must have taken a lot to be able to do that. So
we're still doing it. We're 3.5 years in, and it's still a process. We're still trying to figure out the right succulents to ship during the right times of the year to all over the country, because we're lucky here in California. Yeah. Obviously, we don't have a lot of cold weather, but when we ship across the country to New York or to Boston or to Michigan, we have weather to deal with, not just at the final destination, but along the way. Mm-hmm. So picking the right plants for the season is something that we're still trying to work through. So
yes, I bet that would be, challenging, shipping them out. And just kind of if you have a ballpark figure, how many, because you do subscription as a service, and we're going to talk about that too, the SaaS sort of method. But how many do you ship out every month?
Well, we ship out over 60,000 boxes of succulents a month, and growing. We offer our subscription box. We also offer our customers opportunities for what we call an OTB, a one-time box. So it's an extra box on top of their regular box. And then that typically is like special plants that we don't always offer. So they're limited edition or limited quantity, kind of first come, first serve. So that gets factored into there as well. But we have about 60 to 70,000 boxes we ship out of succulents a month.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
and you've, I want to talk about your method there, because I've actually been to watched, I've actually had the chance to do that, and the sort of production line of how you put some of those boxes together, and they're just so creative. But you're still self-funded, is that correct? And you were bootstrapped. So are you ever thinking about pursuing any other financing, or is this just really working for you?
We started out bootstrapped. We've been self-financing. We have not brought in any substantial amount of outside funding, and honestly, it's been working for us. We've had companies in the past where we have raised large amounts of money, and obviously you have to, a certain part of your decisions and a certain part of your company now rely on that outside money.
Right.
And we've been having so much fun doing this, on our own terms. We do everything in-house. So, being able to make decisions on the fly and not have to really, for lack of a better term, or, get approval from anyone, just kind of do what we want, when we want, as we wish, with what's working based on data, no approvals. It's been really great. So we've not needed to seek any outside funding. It's not something that we've ever really been opposed to, but it's never fit correctly, up to this point.
Well, I like when you say, it's really bought you freedom to be able to be self-funded. And that's what so many entrepreneurs desire, that freedom, but then they want to grow as well. So it's a little, hard decision there of what to do and how to do that with, because it takes money to expand, but you are expanding. And we'll talk about that too, but you have, in your background, you were in sales and customer service. And I think I want to make sure I approach this, because it takes a lot for an entrepreneur to start a business and to run a business. It's constant. You have a lot of freedom, but it's constant. So tell us about what your background was and how that has really fit in to what you're doing now.
Yeah, like you said, it's customer service and sales. I've been in retail sales for most of my younger life, and in the latter part, before I kind of took this entrepreneurial jump, have been in a business-to-business type of sales. I worked for Xerox for quite some time, and most recently worked for a DirecTV distributor. So, I think that what that really brings here is, and also I'm a serial shopper. So online shopper, I buy from a lot of online ads. I buy from emails. I buy from commercials. I buy from postcards. So I mean, that might, it might sound terrible, but it does add a lot of value when I'm the one looking at what we're putting out to what I think people might be interested in buying and what gets them to buy. So a lot of those sales techniques come in there. I don't have any marketing background of any kind, but I do know what sells me, and I do know what gets me to buy or open an email. I think that's has been a really strong point in this business, getting us started. As I said, Andy has the tech background. He has a lot of experience in the subscription and the marketing side of this, but having that, he doesn't have any sales type background. So this is really what I think has helped, at least in the beginning, until we were able to bring on a more structured marketing team. Just having that sales background has really helped us there.
Yeah, I think, and this is what I encourage so many of listeners to do, is just to capitalize on all of your background that you have and use everything. And
Right.
sometimes we're afraid to do that, thinking, and we were just talking about, how fun it is to do a podcast. Well, this is in my wheelhouse. I've been in the recording industry, and there's some different tech challenges that I still, face with all the things I do, but I'm not afraid of it. So I think, with your sales and your customer experience and service, that you are not afraid of it. And as a serial shopper, that's a really interesting way to find out what a viable selling product is.
Right.
Yeah, you can figure out, oh, that's how they're wording that, or that's what made me that little trigger point. That's a very, very good idea.
There's nothing wrong with, borrowing from other companies that you respect. We do a lot of marketing or a lot of email, copying. I don't really want to call it that, but we'll take 4 or 5 emails from other companies that we get and say, okay, I like this part of this email and this part of this email and this part of this email, and we'll stitch those together to test on our platform. So the serial shopping really comes in handy.
Yes, I really like that, because people are looking for ideas always.
Yeah.
And that's what reading does to a writer as well. You read a lot and find some nuggets in there that you're able to apply.
Right.
So, well, let's talk about, I love the business experience. It's great that your husband, Andy, has that tech experience. That's very helpful for you, because that can kind of hold you up a little bit.
Right.
So you don't have to worry as much about that. What is involved in growing the succulents and caring for them? Because when I visited your facility, you had them lined up and you had the little pots, and kind of explain how you package them, first of all, because it's very clever and really fun. But in actually growing them all and making sure they all survive and all of that.
Yeah. So it's, we definitely have a rigid schedule. So I pick the plants about 4 or 5 months in advance, so that there's growing time, or if we need to purchase mother plants, or if we need to purchase clippings. We try and do everything again in-house. We have 2 farms. We have a farm in Fallbrook, California, and then a farm in Somis, California. We own the farm in Fallbrook. We lease some space just because we've grown so quickly up in Ventura County and Somis. So we pick the plants 4 or 5 months in advance to make sure that we have the availability on each plant based on the amount of boxes we're projected to send that month. We plant them all at the farm in our greenhouses. That's a process. A lot of times we have to take our fulfillment team out there. We do have a farm team, but a lot of times we take our fulfillment team out there to do mass pottings, mass clippings if we need to of mother plants. We line them all up. We pot them in what's called coconut core, which is ground up coconut shells. It's very moisturizing and for baby young plants, clippings to grow. Also for seeds as well, when we grow from seed. But we've got them all lined up in our big greenhouses, in 72-inch cells, and they're on a strict watering schedule, a strict fertilization schedule. We do have to spray them, sometimes with chemicals, depending upon the bug season. Once you get one sort of, mealy bug or something in one of the babies, it could take your entire crop, your entire month. So unfortunately, we try to be as organic as we can. But sometimes, that's what's needed for crops and plants. Then when the month comes, so here we are in February. So obviously we have plants for this month that we grew 4 or 5 months in advance. We truck them to our warehouse 2 or 3 times a week. And then we have a very rigid assembly line, which is what you saw when you came to visit. We have 3 assembly lines set up. They're all doing the same thing, starting from potting. We pop the plants out of the cell, the tray, and they get potted into a biodegradable pot, 2-inch biodegradable pot. with more cocoa core on top of that. And then it gets passed to what we call a clipper. And we either use little cardboard clippings, dirt retainers that go over the dirt, or we use wood wool, Excelsior, it's compostable wood wool. Depending upon the plant and how hardy it is or how sensitive it is, will let us know which type of dirt retainer to use. We use a rubber band to secure that. And then it goes into one of our cardboard boxes that we use a special insert to hold the plants in place. Sometimes we need to use toothpicks that kind of really help depending upon how wobbly the plants are. And then we use some extra wood wool for packaging. The most important piece, besides the plant that goes into those boxes, are little in-house designed care cards that are specific to each plant. So it's very important for our customers to know how to take care of their plant. They also want to know what they're called and know what species they are. A lot of our customers name the plants themselves. They'll give them little pet names that are based off of either the scientific name or the common name. So those go into the box, and then we will close it, put a label on it, stick it into a Gaylord box, and then we truck the boxes to DHL ourselves to make sure that they get there okay, rather than trusting a third party. Yes. Which is a very important piece that has been part of our journey. So that's what goes into the assembly line. And we have table leads at each table that go through quality control to make sure that the plants are up to par, that they're not too small, that they're secured and potted correctly before they get shipped off.
Wow, what a process. And it's kind of interesting. How did you go about learning all of this? You've
well, trial and error. We've iterated on that box probably 7 or 8 times, and we're still learning. We're about to do it again. So,
well, it's interesting because I get this response. Oh, I really don't know how to do that, especially in tech. Don't really know. You got to just keep doing it, and you just have to keep trying, and you have to keep failing a little bit and go, oh, now there's a better way to do that. And it really works with almost any field, but I've seen your packaging and it's absolutely just so clever. And your insert cards, I love them. You have like a little care guide, and you have all of this with these clever little cards that you've put in. And so there's so much of the creativity in there. And do you have a creative team, or are you one that does a lot of the creating as well? I'm sure you're a part of that.
Yeah, I don't do the creating myself. I wish. I'm really more of a here's my vision in my mind. I need someone to help me with it type of person. But we have a creative team. We have an art director. We have a director of design. We have an email, a copy expert. Andy and I are very involved in the direction of all of that. Mm-hmm. Constantly. We're a pretty small team. Not counting our fulfillment and our customer service team, our marketing team as a whole, and I guess you would call our C-level team, however you'd like to look at that. We're a pretty small team. We all wear a lot of hats, and we're all looking at things together. We don't make a lot of direction changes without talking about it as a group, and that includes marketing and even from a color palette. We like to talk about that together just to make sure that things are on brand and on brand colors, brand voice. And we'll try different things. We'll try anything to see what works and what engages different types of audiences, because you have to constantly be iterating and constantly be changing. But we try and do that as a group.
Great. That's really good advice for any small business, so everybody stays, moving the same direction. There's not all those huge surprises.
Exactly.
And when you say small team, I mean, you're talking about, your creative team, you're talking about your marketing team, you're talking about, all these different teams that you have, and fulfillment. How many people do you presently employ? And really, how has COVID really affected working conditions for you? Because you've never really quit, right?
Yeah, no. So we have a little under 40 people total. That includes our dev team, and our dev team is all over the world. There's about 4 people between Argentina, Chile, Venezuela,
And what are those development teams?
They're our development team. Yeah, they help us build build the entire site. They work directly for us, which is nice because they're in-house again. So they work on our time, on our team, on our projects only. So we have about 40 people. We're currently expanding when I say the marketing team, we are currently expanding that. COVID has been interesting. So when COVID hit, obviously, we were part of everyone else in the world that worried about their business and worried about their employees and worried about their families. Luckily, we're an essential business because we're a nursery. So we were able to stay open. It was not easy, figuring out on an assembly line, how to keep people distant. Our non-essential workers, customer service, marketing, those were easy to work from home, but our fulfillment team was a little more challenging. After we kind of learned a little bit more about the coronavirus and how it can transfer, we were all wearing our masks doubled up, all wearing gloves, keeping 6 feet apart, doing the best we could there, making sure we washed our hands, washed everything down. We're still keeping most of those processes in place, obviously, to keep everyone safe. And I will say to date, we've not had one employee that's working in our facility come down with the coronavirus. So, we're constantly talking with our team members. You can't tell anyone what to do outside of work, right, but you can encourage them that, hey, keep yourself safe, keep everyone that you work with safe, try and, limit your contact to just people inside your family, all of the rules the CDC has set forth, but also just, having the respect for the people around you, knowing that you don't know who they live with. They might live with elderly, things like that. But luckily, no one's been sick. Surprisingly, over the summer's typically our slowest time of the year because, there are large box stores that have access to succulents in North Dakota, places like that don't normally have access to succulents in the middle of the summer. So that's typically our slow time, but this summer was our busiest season that we've had to date because COVID hit and people were staying home and ordering online.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. And if they're happy, they'll stay, hopefully.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's it. I mean, we grew over the summer probably about 210%. So it was pretty awesome.
Wow, yeah. That's and I love the fact that you have kept your systems in place and you've kept doing the same sort of things, and taking care of your people, which is a great thing as well. So I think that's a great message that you've got. So, and you've created a membership, which is that subscription service. I want you to be able to describe this and how you put that in place. It's very, very popular right now. In fact, most businesses are going this route. I go this route in some of my programs as well, but it's a great business model. It's you have your income that comes in regularly and you have product that goes out or, whatever the business is, but that's what you're based on. So can you explain it and how it works for you when somebody takes an order and what most of your orders consist of?
Yeah. So I think I said this a little earlier in the podcast, but it's 2 baby succulents a month that you're subscribing to. It's for $10 a month plus shipping. The shipping is $6.50, regardless of where you are in the country. We always have a first month discount that everyone has access to, either by entering your email address to be part of the newsletter, or a deal that you might find on the ad that got you to our site to begin with, whether that's on Google, Instagram, Facebook, any of the social media platforms. It's a very simple checkout process. We're basically just asking for email address and shipping address, or shipping where we should ship it to. Yes. And you can sign up for a month-to-month subscription that ends whenever you want it to end, or we offer 3, 6, and 12 month. They're technically called gift subscriptions, but we have a lot of people who just they want to know when something ends and they just want to pay for 3 months and
Yes.
then decide from there, be done or continue, to have a little bit more control over their subscription that way. So we do have a lot of people who overlook the word gift in those gift subscriptions, but we do offer the 3, 6, and 12, and we do offer the month to month. But the coolest thing I think about our subscription, that I've seen a lot of other subscriptions go the same route, is the ability to skip any month you'd like. So you can skip. We have a program to receive succulents every other month. We have a program to receive them every 3 months. You also can just skip, whenever you'd like. You could skip 5, 6, 7 months in a row if you'd like. There's no penalty for that. You can also gift a month. So, if it's, my dad's birthday this month and I want to forego the succulents for myself, I can type a little gift message and put in his address and ship him the box, and gift mine to him that month, which I think is a really cool feature that we have quite a few people use, throughout the summer for birthdays or, Mother's Day, Father's Day. A lot of times are clearly around the holiday also, which is really exciting. And then we also have the option for our customers to turn their subscription off at any time, AKA cancel. There's no penalty to cancel. We don't have, when you sign up, you don't have to stay on for any certain amount of time, but we don't call it a cancel because we have a model that we call the forever customer. Once you're a customer of ours, you're always a customer. So we call it a subscription on or a subscription off. We will still send an email to you asking you if you want, the current month succulents, and you can opt in for a one-time purchase at the regular cost, or you can just opt out and you're not tied to anything. So it's really cool being a part of our club, having access to those one-time boxes that I talked about earlier, and also being able to have, kind of your own control over your subscription.
I love that term, forever customer, because in subscriptions, what you basically, you're kind of holding on to those people and wanting to make sure that, when they drop, a lot of times they just drop completely out. And right. you just don't have that attitude. You think, I'm just going to still stay in contact. You still mean a lot to me. And, when you still get those emails, like, they're not trying to sell you and all of this is available. And if you want, I just love that sort of an attitude. So, yeah.
And I think, people join, the succulent club to, create their, their succulent garden outside, or if they want to create a collection on the inside. I mean, they're babies. They're 2 inches, 2 inches tall. They're very small. They don't take up a whole lot of space in your house. If you want to keep them small, it's easy to learn how to keep them small. If you want to put them in your garden and help them grow large, that's a process that you can go through as well. And so, part of creating your collection is maybe not getting succulents every month. Maybe it's every 3 months, but it's amazing how popular these are. Like I said before, people name them. They like to gift them to their friends, for their friends to be a part of what they're being, what they're a part of. And so it's pretty fun for our customers.
That's really neat. And how, it's apparently if you've got these, forever customers, do you have a lot of sharing and then you get a lot of referrals? I mean, that's one of the best ways to grow a business, actually, is on referral. And how do you encourage that in any way, or is it happening just pretty much organically?
Well, it does happen organically. It did in the beginning, which we had a lot of people in the very beginning ask us for any kind of, referral program, and it prompted us to put one into place. So once you create your account, I think it's for every, I don't remember if it's 3 or 5, sorry, but I think it's every five customers or 5 friends, family members, whatever it is that you refer, that sign up with your unique referral code, then you get a box for free.
Oh,
so
okay.
We instill that into place. And a lot of people find that helpful and useful, obviously, because who doesn't want something for free, especially succulents. So,
well, that's your affiliate program, pretty much, that you've got,
exactly.
got that in place. And that's a big deal right now, too. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's so much fun. And now, do you have any plans for expansion. When I look, you've got a great little website too, and I'll put that all in the actual article that I wrote along with it, that I usually write along with this, but so people can get in contact with you. But do you have plans? You've got these little boxes. It's $10 a month, and it's so easy to do that. And you've got all of these 60,000 a month. But are you going to be doing larger boxes or larger, sort of arrangements, or do you even have plans yet going that direction?
It's a good question. We've tossed around, I think since the very beginning, we've tossed around the idea of, we have 2 a month. We've tossed around the idea of 4 a month. We've tossed around the idea of, doing special bulk orders. And every single time we had these discussions or did little tests, it always came back to 2 a month. Is kind of what retains our customers. The more options you give them a month, the less the least amount of, they seem not to stay on for as long. You're not going to retain them for as long. But we've dabbled in the idea of corporate gifting, which is more on the bulk ordering side. Which is somewhere we want to expand this year. We want to offer more one-time box options other than just succulents and cacti, different types of rare cacti. We're talking with some other farms to help us do some special grows of some really rare plants. But as far as growth with the Succulent Studios subscription, we're really comfortable with where we are. It gets really hard to grow too much more beyond, the 60 to 70,000 a month range. Just the sheer fact of trying to grow that many different types of succulents. There are a lot of different types of succulents. We grow 180 different varieties and species at our farm, but not all of them are set for shipping. Not all of them will work for shipping. Some of them look the same as the one next to them. Yeah. So, we're pretty comfortable where we are. We do have other brands as a whole for our subscription studios, and we're looking to expand those in 2021.
Okay. By other brands, it would be just other products or...
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Other companies under our umbrella, right?
Oh, interesting. Okay. So, well, that's interesting. So that'll be interesting to follow that in the future as that grows. Yeah, because that's a lot of product to mail out, 60,000 to 70,000 per month. I've seen those boxes. They're creative, but you've got to hand pack those things.
Yeah.
And you've got a limited, sort of area and with the growing and making sure you've got healthy plants too.
Exactly. Yeah.
And do you have many, just for my information, do you have many that come back, or are they mostly are healthy and do well?
I think just from being the head mother of these baby succulents, I think that there clearly are more get broken than I would ever want. Mm-hmm. But I think when you look at a percentage of what arrive healthy versus what arrives either frozen or damaged, the percentage is actually very low. Obviously, we're going to ship places where they're going to freeze. That happens. We try our best to put, during this time of year, to put certain states or cities on hold for what we call a cold weather hold. But, live plants, things will break in the mail. We always joke about this Ace Ventura scene. Things will break. They're hard on the plants. The awesome thing about succulents is that they're like worms. If you cut a worm into 3 pieces, you now have 3 worms. Succulents are the same. They will grow no matter what happens to them, assuming that they have some light and a little bit of water. But every single time a leaf falls off a succulent, now you've got another succulent that you could potentially propagate and grow into another plant. So it's about educating our customers, letting them know that, listen, we're really sorry it broke in the mail. I know you didn't sign up to have to take care of a plant of this capacity. We'll tell you how to take care of it. We'll tell you how to grow another one. In the meantime, if you want us to send you a new one, we will, so that those customers not only get what they paid for, but they also are educated, and then they can see how succulent that's broken into 3 or 4 pieces can grow 3 or 4 new succulents, and they can be proud of something that they've created on their own.
Oh, that's really fun. That's really fun. Yeah, a lot of it's educating people and making them not afraid to do that. Oh,
100%. Yeah.
it's so great. So, and you're earth friendly. I love this too. As succulents help cleanse and dehumidify the air, and even claim to boost healing. Okay, so this is part of your education. It's all on your website. But can you explain that a little bit further and how that really helps you in your marketing and your messaging?
Yeah, I think a lot of people know plants in general can really boost, oxygen levels. Succulents have been known to do that. I think that it's going to take more than, two baby succulents sitting next to your, nightstand to really help. I think that, just being honest, having a whole jungle in your home will really help boost that oxygen. I think that the biggest marketing piece, the truth to this marketing piece, is the boost of just space, the boost of mood, the boost of clarity, all based on having a happy little plant in your space. They say that sun provides, vitamin D. Plants have their own healing aspect to them. Aloe vera clearly has a physical healing aspect to it, but I think that from a non-physical, circumstantial type of healing is what we're talking about, and that really does help in our marketing. We talk about how plants do make people happy. Plants do make people smile. Having something to take care of, especially for the millennials and the Gen Zers, only really, they don't have kids maybe at this time, they have plants to take care of. Yeah. They have animals to take care of. And so those are the types of marketing pieces that we really play on because they work.
Yes. Yes.
That's really the healing part of it.
That's neat. But well, when you have to take care of plants and animals, especially animals, it prepares you a little bit for children. So, but not entirely.
No, I know. I have 3 kids myself, and I'll tell you, I think that I have an easier time out at the farm than I do at home.
I tell you, yeah, balancing a lot. Then as a mom, how old are your kids?
5, 9.5, and 13.
Wow, you are and you're running this company. So you and your husband. So it's a busy time for you. So
very busy.
Yeah, definitely. So I hope people, after listening to this, they look at your website too. It's just so creative and so much fun. And if we were doing a video, I would hold up some of the little cards I've gotten from you. But it's easy to, and it's fairly inexpensive when you think about little gifts or little things, something for yourself. It's a little gift for yourself, pretty much.
It is. Tranquility.
Yeah. So to try. And would you have anything maybe to offer our listeners? And is there anything that you can suggest if they wanted to try out some of the succulents?
Yeah, for sure. Go to our website. I think you said you have a little write-up you'll have with this. So Succulent.studio. And we would love to offer all of your listeners a 20% discount on their first box. And that discount code will be GOALS20, GOALS 20.
Okay.
GOALS20. Enter that code for 20% off on your first box. Reach out to our customer service team. Should you have any questions or concerns or issues, we've got really great customer service team there to help with lots of tips.
Mm. And, I've realized through COVID and all of this, and even getting into more technical work, how important customer service is. Mm-hmm. And when I have an issue technically and I can't get a hold of customer service, it's very frustrating. And so I love it that you've got a good team and responsive, because those, I think that's a very important element for any sort of business, to be able to get back. And, sometimes as entrepreneurs, we miss that message now and then that's coming through, or it gets lost. But I think just the warmth the friendly responses and everything to get, and then getting the plants, how much fun.
Yeah.
And with the expansion of people ordering online, I mean, it's like, I was looking every day on Amazon and see, okay, what can come to my house today?
I know. I hear you.
Yeah. So anyway, and the nice thing about succulents, they are pretty hardy. And if they're not doing really well, a lot of times they will pop back, or you'll have another one next month,
Exactly. Yep.
So, yeah, that's I always joke my husband's the one that grows the plants a lot better than I do. He waters them.
There's always one.
Yes, there has to be one. So, well, anything else that you would say to our listeners? Because I loved getting into how you even started this business and what it took. I mean, it's 3.5 years, and to be where you are, that is pretty amazing with the amount of product that you ship out and that you're profitable. I mean, you're growing. You're definitely growing, and that you've got people now all over the world with your development team. I just think it's pretty amazing that you've done this all in-house. So,
yeah, it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, that you just got to keep trying, keep iterating. Something fails, then that's your best success. Just have something fail, so that what doesn't work, so you can keep trying. That took me, it's still taking me a long time to learn that, but every single time that something's wrong, Andy is constantly looking for the problem. And he says, I hope I find something wrong. I hope I find something wrong. And it took me a while to understand what he meant. And I think when I finally understood it, it's like, okay, well, you've got to find, when something's not working, you've got to find the problem. You've got to keep trying. And, success percent is a lot higher than, success percent is a lot lower than failure percent. But when you do get that success, there's a lot to be proud of and a lot to keep trying for. And I just encourage anyone who's in a similar position to just surround yourself with people smarter than yourself and keep trying.
Yes. That's a great point too. To surround yourself with people smarter than yourself, because it will elevate your level. I like doing this. I'm not an athlete at all, but when I'm out, on that pickleball court, I want to be able to play with somebody that's a little better. So it's going to up my game. When I've put bands together and groups together in music, I want to play with the best players, because it's going to lift my ability up, and you play up to those people. Otherwise, you are dragged down. So with almost any field, in my business and in my masterminds and with communication with others, if you're linked in with somebody that's really not going as quickly or is kind of stymied for a long period of time, it's going to just pull you back. Mm-hmm. So yeah, even in your hiring process on that's probably been a learning area too, in hiring the right people and with the whole team with moving ahead. So
for sure.
Yeah, but it really sounds like you've done really well in that area if you've got that communication going.
I think so. We definitely have some awesome people around us.
Yeah, well, that's a real plus in it's wisdom on your end, of course, and then you have a lot to be thankful for. So.
Thank you.
Definitely. Well, good. I wanted to get to what could be next, so we will keep our eye on your business and on your website to see what other companies that actually will come under your umbrella, whether they are the same, whether they're different or whatever. So that'll be very, very interesting. Thank you so much for being with me here. Melissa, this has been very fascinating. I've been looking forward to this, and who would start a succulent business? But it's so highly searched, and I mean, the amount of product that you ship out is just, and the process was just really amazing and fun. It was very neat and orderly. So definitely had it set up.
I really appreciate you having me on. Yeah, this has been neat.
It's just a lot of fun. So, well, for all our listeners, make sure you tune in next week, how to recover from a mental hack. I'm going to talk about mind games and head trash and all of that. So the stuff that we're all dealing with. And it doesn't matter what level you're at. But when Melissa was talking about you have to keep trying, you can't be afraid to fail. That's a mindset right there. And it's how much you learn. So this is it's a great principle, and always good to remind constantly about that. So make sure you listen, subscribe, womenathalftime.com. You can get there, and you can always contact me at any time. And you can reach me on other websites as well. It's such a pleasure. I enjoy being here so much every week, and look forward to seeing you next time. And thanks again. And we will see you next time. So bye for now. Thank you for joining us on Women at Halftime. Visit goalsforyourlife.com or womenathalftime.com for many more resources, downloads, and programs, or to get in touch with me. I'd love it if you leave me a review and tell your friends. So until next time, this is Deborah Johnson signing off.